What's up, Knicks fans? I'm your host, Vigo Sports Talk. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about our win versus the Portland Trail Blazers in a game where Josh Hart finally came back after 2.5 weeks. He's finally back, returned to the starting lineup, and completely changed the game. The Knicks beat the Blazers 123 to 114. And to start it off, Josh Hart, like I said, the Knicks desperately needed his physicality, his hustleness, rebounding, defense. Basically, Josh Hart in general, we just needed. Because with Josh Hart, we were just losing games. You could tell our defense wasn't the same. Hustle, no rebounding. Mitchell Robinson was out for a few games, so that's probably why. But in general, we needed Josh Hart out there because things were just different. And with him back, it's completely changing the game now. In today's game, Josh Hart, he scored 18 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. You got to see his hustle out there. Look at this play from Josh Hart. He dove on the ball. It was like late in the fourth quarter. He dove on the ball, stole the ball, and he did that again late in the fourth when I forgot who passed the ball, but it was to Holiday. He stole the ball and got the layup. Plays like that, it just shows you the type of player Josh Hart is. Not that many people in the league is like that these days. There's like, for people his size, there's not, besides like Westbrook, other players, there's no players his size that can rebound like he does. Cause he does whatever he can to get a rebound. Because there's people there that are like 7 foot, 7'4", 6'10", 6'11", and he just grabs rebound like he's a center. And he can honestly play everything but center, and point guard. Technically, he's a shooting guard or a small forward, but for the team he plays power forward based on his defense, his physicality, rebounding. Because he could guard almost every team's player. It doesn't matter. It could be your best player, your second best player, third best player. And he could guard anyone. He's not gonna complain. He could play the whole game if he wants to. A few years ago, during the playoffs, there was at one point he was literally playing the whole game, and didn't sit out for no minutes, which is unheard of. Josh Hart, he's a player. He's gonna fight till the game is over. He's gonna get you to win. He believes in this team. We are a championship team. He believes that. And without him, I don't know what we would do. Now to talk about the game. This was a game that was pretty physical in the start, which I actually got to talk about something. Listen, I understand the refs. They're gonna miss calls. It's part of the game. Teams get fouled maybe like 15, 20 times a game. But I gotta say this one stat. So when the game ended, the Knicks ended with 8 free throws. One of them was a 3-second violation. And the Trailblazers shot about, 25 free throws. And let me remind you, one player, Denny Avdia, had more free throws than the entire Knicks team combined. You heard me right. He had 10 free throws. And look, honestly, I know he got injured, so I hope my prayers go out to him. But this game was genuinely just frustrating to see. Like, I understand players these days, they're floppers. Look at LeBron, he started it. Look at SGA, Luka. And yes, maybe Brunson does it sometimes, but right now Brunson's 20th in free throws attempts per game, so you can't go out there and say he's a free throw merchant. While Avdia is like, he's got to be at least top 3 in free throws per game. Because every time, this is what he does, so he's a big dude, he's like 230 pounds, 6'8", 6'9", so he's going to attack the rim every time. So whoever's going against him, he don't care who it is, he's going to just use his left arm, push you out the way, try to draw a foul, flop. He's going to do whatever he can to get a call. It got to a point where literally players were complaining about it. Well, obviously, you can't say the refs were horrible because you could get fined NBA. But one of the Rockets players, Tari Easton, he just said zebras when asked about Denny Avdia because of the refs. By zebras, he means the ref because black and white. And honestly, I can understand why. Because a team should never have less free throws than one player. Like, Let me say it like this: a player should not have more free throw attempts than an entire team combined. And like I said, I understand teams get fouled a lot and they miss it, but 8 free throws to end the game is unheard of. It's horrible. The other day, the Celtics, they had like 4 free throws the entire game. You're telling me in the 48 minutes, of a game, you only got fouled a few times. There's no way, there's no chance. Fouling is part of the game. But at some point, you got to call something. And the fact one of those fouls was a 3-second violation, 1 free throw. So if you think about it, we got 7 free throws the entire game. So these gotta. I wanted to talk about that because I just find that pretty outrageous, and just how I just feel like the way the NBA has changed over the years is crazy. Like in the 90s, there were no such things as foul baiters, flopping. It was just a foul, and teams were just physical. Like the Chicago Bulls with Jordan, the New York Knicks, the Pistons with Ben Wallace. All those teams were just physical. They were physical. They didn't care. They would throw a punch. Ron Artest, you know his story. Players these days, if you lay a pinky on them, they flop. I find that crazy how crazy the NBA has changed. And I just wish the NBA can go back to the 90s and with the physicality, no flopping. Obviously, you're going to get fouled, so you're going to be at the free throw line. I just miss the NBA like that. But for the New York Knicks, we played a great game. We had the lead for pretty much the whole game. Late in the fourth, they started to come back. And then it wasn't until Brunson, McBride, Hart, OG, and Mitch, those 5, with their defense. Honestly, Brunson had a pretty good defensive game, if you ask me. He played some pretty good defense for a top player in the league, most improved, Denny Avdia. And Josh Hart, you all know how he is. Just those 5 on the floor completely changed the game with their defense. The Knicks went on a 20-8 run. There was a bunch of steals, blocks. OG had some clutch threes, so did McBride. It completely changed the game. And we need to keep this up. Also, if we keep playing like this, we could get possibly 50 wins because right now in the Eastern Conference, it's really close in terms of like if you lose or win. If you lose. Because right now, the Celtics are just right behind us. Like, literally right behind us. If they get a win today, as I'm recording, they take the 2nd spot. And the Raptors, I don't know exactly where they are, but I know they're not too far from us. So if they win, like, maybe 2 games, they could take our place. So we need to win. We need to win if we want to keep the second spot. Because it was just like last year with the Western Conference. One loss could easily impact where you are in the conference. So if the Knicks just keep this up, we'll be just fine. Because at one point we were up by a lot of games, and that losing streak completely changed us, honestly. But I'm confident in our Knicks, especially with Josh Hart back, the hustle guy. He should also be hustler of the year, hustle player of the year. I feel like Josh Hart is like, he's that player from the 90s. I can't think of a player from the 90s that was just like grabbing rebounds, is physical. He's not that hard will fight you, but if like a few games ago, he got mad over a bunch of missed calls. He's not afraid to say anything. We need those type of players in the NBA these days. And Josh Hart is just a perfect example. Grabbing rebounds, hustle, defense. If the ball's on the floor, he will dive on it, risk his body. He'll do whatever he can to get a win. That's all I gotta say for today's win. Shout out to the New York Knicks. To the best player of the game. So Brunson, he scored 26 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, 0 blocks. There were a bunch of good players this game. But I gotta give it to Josh Hart, to the VST player of the game. He only scored 18 points. But when he was on the floor, you could feel his presence. You could just feel like his aura. You could feel his defense. You could just feel the impact when he's on the field. When he's on the court. He's a difference maker. For most NBA fans, people don't see Josh Hart as a game changer because, they think he's just a random player who can average like 8 points, a decent defender. That's not what Josh Hart is. He's a great defender, great hustler. He's been getting better offensively. They were leaving him open for wide open threes, and he was making them. He made them pay for it. Now with all these players we got that can shoot 3-pointers, we could get at least 20 3-pointers a game, which we desperately need. But we can't just keep forcing threes. Whenever you're really open, they can shoot a 3. That's all I gotta say for today's episode. To end the video, I want to talk about the All-Star break coming up. Obviously, Jalen Brunson's like second or third in All-Star voting. And Cat, he's maybe in the top 10, maybe just out of the top 10. My goal for the All-Star is to at least get at least OG, Mikal Bridges, or Josh Hart to get the first All-Star. Because honestly, I feel like those 3 players should have at least gotten one All-Star in their career. And I know OG he's been struggling offensively the last few games. Today he had a good game. Mikal Bridges, his defense. One of those 3 players that I just said, gotta get an All-Star. Gotta be an All-Star. They have to. It will honestly be a full circle moment if Josh Hart became an All-Star. From coming off the bench to being the starting 5 again, showing how important you are to the team, and becoming an All-Star, that right there deserves an All-Star. You deserve it. Obviously, JB and Josh Hart were teammates back in college. They were very close. So just imagine those 2 in the All-Star. It would just be amazing to see that. So make sure to go on the NBA website, go vote for Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG, Josh Hart, or Bridges in the All-Star. Right now, I'm going to keep on voting on Jalen Brunson, but I'm definitely going to vote for every one of those players I just said. That's all I got to say for today's episode. This is Vigo Sports Talk, host of Vigo Talk to Knicks, and I'll see you next episode, Knicks fans. Peace.